Hey fellow learners, Shirley here. In my today's video, I'm gonna talk about shadowing. Shadowing is one of the best and most effective ways you can practice your English by yourself. All you need is a phone or any other player and a will. But what shadowing is? Shadowing is nothing more than just repeat after the speaker. And you can share many things like podcasts, videos on YouTube, TV series, movies, audios. It's completely up to you. In my case, what I share the most is podcasts because they are super handy while I'm driving or doing any other household chores like doing the dishes. But if you prefer, you also can share videos on YouTube and TV series and movies on Netflix. If you prefer this, I highly recommend you add an extension on Google Chrome called Language Reactor. Language Reactor, it's a fantastic tool to learn English with TV series and movies. I recorded a short tutorial that I'm gonna place up here and in the description below. Before we start sharing, it's so important we set an intention what we wanna improve in our English. For example, nowadays I've been sharing pay attention to the connected speech and reductions, but you also might want to improve your pronunciation, your rhythm, the collocations, vocabulary, and many other stuff. What you have to do first is to pay attention to that. You have to settle what you are gonna pay attention to, and it can change over time. For example, now let's suppose for this week or the next 15 days I'm paying attention to the connected speech, but maybe next time I'm gonna pay attention to the way native speakers use their words, their specific words in that context. The next week or maybe the next month, I'm gonna pay attention to the rhythm, the accent. So it's up to you. You can settle the time you're gonna do that. The same way you do when you go to the gym, that you have that workout plan for that amount of time, the same you apply for your shadowing. As important as set intention, is also important you be present while you are shadowing. Repeating after the speaker without be present just for the sake of repeating is not enough. It's pointless. You are not a parrot. You have to pay attention and also be present. You must feel the words. You must feel the feelings of the speakers. Maybe you can also exaggerating while you are sharing in order to stick their words in your brain. Now let's talk about ways of sharing. I use 3 different ways. The first one is pause and repeat. This one is so good because when we pause, we can digest the information better, and we also can repeat how many times we think it's good for us. The other one is pause and repeat following the transcription. This one that is a plus, that is the transcription. So not just you're gonna digest the information, repeat how many times you think it's good for you. You also can add new words to your vocabulary, because sometimes when we are sharing, we come across words and expressions that we don't know the meaning and we feel like, what is it? And if you don't have the transcription, we just move on. But when you have the transcription, you can look up the meaning, and also you can add these new words to your Anki or any other spaced repetition program that you use. The other way that you can shadowing is subvocalization. This one is so convenient because it's most of the time when you don't have a chance to pause, but you also can shadowing. For example, subvocalization is while you are doing an activity like doing the dishes, driving, walking your dog, and you repeat after the speaker. Sometimes when the speaker speaks slowly, you can repeat out loud. But sometimes when it's not, you just repeat that mentally. It's super handy and useful. Alright, now you already know the ways to shadow, but how long it's gonna take. From my experience, I believe that pausing and repeating with transcription or without transcription, 10 minutes is enough. More than that, in my case, I feel tired, I feel that I lose concentration, so it's not worth it. And about subvocalization, what you can do, because 10 minutes is quite long and tiring, what you can do is to choose 1 minute or 2. Okay, you think mentally, now I'm gonna subvocalize the next minute, then you start doing that. Or maybe you can just say, okay, now I'm gonna subvocalize the next 3 sentences, and then you are gonna doing this exercise throughout the podcast. Not necessarily just these 1 or 2 minutes, but you subvocalize and then you rest a little bit, and then you subvocalize a little more and rest a little bit. To make the most of it, it's so important you make it a habit. You can think of the period of the day that you can make this activity. For example, in my case, I do that while I'm driving in the morning when I'm commuting to work. Sometimes I also share while I'm doing the dishes in the evening. So the point here is you create this habit of sharing, and it's so important you connect a previous habit that you have to sharing, because they both get together and it's easier to keep up with this new habit. Now let's talk about the benefits of sharing. You're gonna see a huge improvement in your spoken English, your pronunciation, connected speech, rhythm, reductions, melody, all of these in your speaking. The other thing that you are gonna see improvement is in your vocabulary, because chances are you're gonna add new words to your vocabulary, and the most important thing is to add your passive vocabulary into your active vocabulary. Besides that, you're gonna pay attention and learn the accuracy of the words, the way natives use a specific words rather than other. If you translate in your mind, you would use it in your native language, and if you translate it, you'd translate it wrong. So you're gonna be more accurate with words that you use. The other benefit that I noticed using shadowing is that I'm more confident while I'm speaking, as I feel more comfortable to use my passive vocabulary and also the accuracy of the words. I feel that as I have practiced before, it doesn't sound weird when I'm gonna speak in the real life. Shadowing is also great for sharpening our awareness. For example, one day I was listening to Dr. Staff on the podcast Better with Dr. Staff, and she said, I didn't eat a leg of food. Immediately, that word a leg of reminded me one of the cards that I have in my Anki from the book You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Galib. And Lori Galib wrote, Kenny doesn't speak a lack of English, you know? So while I was listening the podcast, I was reminded of the expression that I had in my Anki, and I made connections. So this is fabulous. It happens quite a lot. This is good because it helps us, our brain, to stick that word and use it more later on. Last but not least, the other benefits from shadowing is physically. You know, our mouth is a muscle, so and we have to practice this muscle. Shadowing is perfect for that because we need to speak after the speaker, so we are training our mouth a lot. Now you might be wondering who to shadow. I've heard a lot of experts saying that we should choose one person that we like the voice, we like the way they speak, but for me it's quite hard to follow just one person, to shadow just one person. Why? First, because I feel fed up to shadow the same type of podcast, the same time of subject for a long time in a row. The other thing is because I also want to practice new fields. I love self-development. I love Oprah, so I shadowed Oprah for a while, but she doesn't speak about finances, she doesn't speak about healthcare, she doesn't speak about exercises, and I also need to learn such kind of vocabulary, and I also need to practice the pronunciation of these fields, you know. And so that's why for me it's so hard to follow just one person. It's up to you. You do what is best for you. Given all this, I wonder if you're gonna start shadowing, and when. Please let me in the comments below. What do you think about shadowing? Have you ever shadowed? How was your experience with that? How did you feel? And if you are gonna practice this in the near future. If you liked the video, please give me your thumbs up, and if you like this kind of content, subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye.